not give up. It's just remarkable, even without Kawhi Leonard. Everyone thought they were done, and now they're here. They are 1 win away. Yeah, 1 win away from coming to the game seven. And Chris Paul doesn't want a game seven after a 3-1 lead.
Really good about getting all these prospects for the San Antonio Spurs, who picked number 12 in the draft this year. Go
game seven with the veterans that the Clippers have. But if you're the Suns, man, you got to figure out a way to stop Reggie Jackson because Paul George is going to get his right, but Reggie Jackson is just annihilating y'all, especially in the fourth quarter, and he's going to get a big fat contract coming up in the next year actually.
It's not
He's
going to
playing
be
tough
Dennis
with Greg.
Schroeder money. That's for damn sure.
Oh heck no! But it's going to be Reggie Jackson money that he never had, and it's probably Dennis Schroeder's contract. I don't know. We're getting that later, but what he wants is ridiculous. After that performance that he pulled off this year in the play,
Yeah,
there's rumors of that.
That's my take.
I don't either.
I'm not a GM. Hey, Ruby Pinonis is in here. Ruby says, "Go Clippers." Ty's back in here. He actually says, "I hope the Suns close it out." He says, "I hope the Suns close it out tonight, but they don't have Cam Johnson tonight." We do hope the Suns do close it. It does hurt them, but we do hope the Suns do close it out. If history serves itself correctly, the Suns have been closing out their series on the road, so they are on the road. I can maybe see it happening. Let's hope Chris Paul knocks it out of the park. Let's hope I don't want to say the proverbial nut in the face of the Clippers, but let's just say he finishes tonight, eliminates the Clippers. Clippers go fishing. Real quick bit, Ruby Pinonis, he says go Clippers, but I got to make something real quick a mention. We do San Antonio Athlete of the Week for the Sports Time. I'll mention it here on Sweep the League. She's got 3 boys that are massively getting huge, and I think it's like the discus throw, or not discus. It's the it's the
shot put.
Shot put. There you go. I'm sorry, my mind is mush right now after as much as I work. Shot put. They're actually all 3 of the boys are making, I think, the Junior Olympics. So good luck to all her boys out there for sure. But yeah, getting back to the Suns, with Ty saying he hopes to close it out, they need to close it out. This is, I think, a must win for the Clippers. They got to close this out because you're right. A game 7 would be terrible, I think, for the Suns. And you do not want that at all. At all. No. I mean,
no.
If the Clippers win tonight, can we potentially see the Clippers winning game 7, you think? I mean, we're talking playoff P, pandemic P, pumpkin pie P. We don't know what the hell we're getting from P himself. What do you think? Can the Clippers come back and win this series?
Yeah. I mean, they're playing at home tonight. Like you said, the Suns have closed out every series on the road so far this year. But they're just this Clipper team is resilient, man. You think you have them down? No Kawhi Leonard. We've proven how good Kawhi Leonard is, right? You really don't need him. And Paul George is putting up all these masterful numbers that he's putting up this year that we never thought we'd see again, because we've seen the struggles that he's had in the playoffs and everything. But he's shown up and balled out. If they get games like Reggie Jackson, they get games like they did with Morris the other night, who hit the first 7 shots of and finally missed. If he gets contributions like from DeMarcus Cousins, and then you get Terrence Mann, who we all know is elite at home. He plays with more energy at home. Dude, I can see the Clippers winning this and forcing a Game 7. But if you're the Suns, you don't want it to go to Game 7, because you're treating this as a Game 7. Because Game 7, winner take all. I just don't trust it's a young Suns team. You don't know what Devin Booker is going to get you. You don't know what Aiden's going to get you. You don't know what what's that point guard's name? Payne's going to get you. You don't know. That's just a young team. Payne.
So basically, where the hell is Zaza Pachulia to defend Paul George tonight, so we can make sure the Suns win, right? That's kind of what you're getting at, I think. Not to hate on Spurs fans or anything.
Right, man. But I still don't think that's a dirty play. I'm sorry, Spurs fans. I think you just.
Are you kidding me? Are we going to have to get into this conversation? Are you literally going to piss off every Spurs fan out there by saying Zaza Pachulia's play was not dirty?
I don't think he intentionally. I don't think it was dirt. I don't think he meant to hurt Kawhi Leonard. I think he just. Why
the hell would you put your foot up underneath his foot coming down? Then it's intentional.
I'm giving the guy the benefit of the doubt, Rudy. The guy was just playing with emotion. Kawhi Leonard was tearing up the Warriors.
I should block you on
I
Twitter.
Personally don't believe.
That's a famous.
Wow.
Apparently that's a popular thing on Twitter now, is blocking everybody. So I should block you for this.
Wow, but you missed too much if that actually happened, right?
No. I mean, hey, you're a
part
of the
Hey.
Look, you're even pissing off Ty. You can't.
I am.
Ty is a hard person to piss off, and you're pissing off.
Yes, it was a foul. It was a foul. Aja wanted to hurt his ankle. No, it was a play. It might have even been dirty. Plays because of Zaza, right? So, I mean, take it with it. I mean, I just wanted Steph Curry to get a ring. That's the only thing I wanted.
Oh, wow. So a Lakers fan wanted Seth Curry to get a ring. I've heard it all tonight.
Hey. I was, man, when they call LeBron James, I told you I am not a Lakers fan. I can't. But no, okay. I'll give it. It was a little bit dirty, but I'm not going to say full Reggie Miller type dirty plays. No.
I expect my DMs to be going crazy after this show, and Ty is launching the hashtag Block the Zaza Sympathizers. I think that'll be a perfect hashtag to go off for after this show. Definitely for Trey Collis, who, hey, that's the reason why Trey is on Sweep the League, because he doesn't hold back. He doesn't give a shit what he says. Kind of like really all of us on this show. So for sure, hey, I will forget it. I mean, it's happened. It's in the past. He's not even a Spur anymore. You know, Zaza's not even in the league anymore. So it happens. We just hope that Ty is not pissed off at you anymore for being a Zaza lover. And
I'm not a Zaza lover. I was actually happy when the Warriors got rid of him, to be honest with you.
Okay, so we'll rephrase that. You're a Zaza flirt. Okay, we'll say you're a flirt with Zaza.
Whatever. I'm not. No, I only have one man crush, and that was Derek Jeter.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say he's pretty cute. Is he cuter than A-Rod though?
Oh yeah.
Really?
I can't into this. I'm not.
Let's see. And the man's also to say this while sipping from the Canes cup, scratching my.
Hey! Listen here. My wife went out of her way to go buy me supper tonight, so I'm not gonna. I'm waiting for Arby's to open up down here.
Arby's, golly, there was actually a tweet a while back about Arby's saying that it's probably the absolute worst fast food.
And that tweet that tweet is wrong. Arby's is, oh my god, that roast beef big old.
I will admit I did get fat on the roast beef. That is fact. I mean, I haven't eaten it since I've lost weight. I haven't eaten this since I've lost weight, but yes, I did get fat off the roast beef. it kind of it made it seem like. Did you ever watch The League, that fantasy football show?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so
I love it.
I'm gonna put this question out there: is Arby's the Yoba Goya of our world? I mean, it's not, what is it, horse meat, but I mean, it'll definitely kill your colon. I mean, your asshole is gonna be on fire.
Well,
I'm sure
yeah.
if you eat a ton of it.
Yeah, if you eat it like maybe 4 or 5 times a week, but if you just treat yourself once a month, then no, it's not going to do anything for you. But
I
I'm
like
going
how
to be
we
one of
get
those
off the
people that
tracks, man. We get
I
off the
know.
tracks so far on this show
Okay.
sometimes. So speaking of, flirts, the Atlanta Hawks are flirting with a potential NBA Finals appearance. Their series is tied 2-2. I said the Hawks would win in 7. I'm sticking to that. Hawks will win in 7. Now, that was all prior to Giannis going down last night. Trey has an ankle injury. He sits out. Giannis plays. Hawks still get the victory. Giannis is out. How long is Giannis out? Who the hell knows? It's unclear.
Exactly.
Even though X-rays came back negative, there's no structural damage. There's no structural damage to his knee or whatever. Everything is fine with him on that sense. Do you think Giannis is going to play any more this series, or is he done for the series? Personally, I would probably sit him out for this series. There's no reason to risk a potential career bothering injury, actually come back and it not bother him for his career. I think you have to shut him down, but also at the same time, you're so damn close to the finals.
Yeah, I think it all depends on how bad the sprain is, right? Because isn't Kawhi Leonard going through the same thing with the Clippers? But Kawhi Leonard's a big baby, and he can't play, and he doesn't trust any medical staff, and he just doesn't want to play. He can't even sit with his own team. I think it all depends on what kind of type of sprain it is. They basically said he's pretty much doubtful and not going to play in Game 5. I think you sit him out Game 5. I would shut him. I'm with you just for this series. I'm shutting him down because I think the Bucks can beat the Hawks without Giannis.
I think agree with you on that. I took the Hawks, but I agree with you. And Ty says it. The Bucks pull the Clippers and play well without their all-star. I'm extremely curious to see how they do. I kind of agree with you because even though Chris Middleton, to me, he's a great player, and I'm using great very loosely. Can he get it done? I think he can get it done against the Hawks. I mean, but I'm with you, man. You got to shut him down, I think, on this series. But I'm kind of agreeing with Ty a little bit here, and I'm agreeing with you. I think the Bucks can still get it done. I'm not going to change my pick because I don't have to. I mean, I can if I want to, but I'm not going to. I still think the Hawks would win, but it would not surprise me to see the Bucks play up to another level and take it to the Hawks.
Yeah. Well, just look at the Atlanta Hawks don't have any all-stars on their team. Milwaukee Bucks have had 4 all last year, past, present, whatever the case may be. They have Middleton, who's an all-star. They have Drew Holiday, who's a very good player. They have Brook Lopez, who was an all-star at one point in his career. So they have the weapons there, and Drew Holiday, if he's hitting shots and defending well, can lock down Trae Young. On the road, can the Hawks do this twice? Can they beat the Milwaukee Bucks at home at the visiting them? They've been a better road team than they have home team. They've lost like four of the last 6 home games compared to what the visiting team when they're the visitors. I just think the problem with the Milwaukee Bucks is even before Giannis went out, they were getting rumshot by the team. Wasn't even supposed to play in this series. Came on and was the X factor. His defensive skills against Drew Holiday and everyone who he guarded gave him havoc and everything. And then Gallinari hitting big shot after big shot. They have lethal weapons, but can they carry that over to on the road and for consistent games? I think this is where they're going to need Trae Young to facilitate and make those players better. I just don't know what I'm getting with this Milwaukee Bucks team because they had a chance to step on the throat of the Atlanta Hawks last night without Trae Young, without their superstar, without any other player other than Trae Young, and they were down double digits going into halftime. Yeah, the Bucks were starting to get on a rhythm a little bit earlier in the third quarter, but we wouldn't know how that played out because the Atlanta Hawks were at home. I just don't know what we saw it in the previous series with Brooklyn Nets. They basically get swept off the face of the earth in the first 2 games. No one thought they belonged, and then all of a sudden they turn it on and they do what they do, and they won the next 4 games or next 4 out of 5 games. So I don't trust Bud. I know he's a Spurs. I know he whatever. I just don't trust. I don't trust his style. I don't know. They have to win this series for me to trust him, and I just don't know where you're gonna get. They're just wildly inconsistent, and I just don't see how the Buck. But I still have Bucks in 7. I still think they can beat the Atlanta Hawks, but the Atlanta Hawks are pushing that magic potion going around some whatever the case may be. I can't understand the Hawks because they're playing great teams without any injury on the other side. They're the only team in the playoffs who have not faced another team who has gone through injuries. Philadelphia 76ers were pretty much healthy. New York Knicks were pretty much healthy. That's it. And now the Milwaukee Bucks, besides Giannis, finally went out. All the other teams have gone through injuries on both sides. So the Atlanta Hawks have beaten straight up teams in these playoffs, and they're playing great basketball. But can it carry over in game? I just hate to do this because I'm probably jinxing them, but I think the Milwaukee Bucks just has enough to get over the Atlanta Hawks in 7 games. I have them in 7, but you have the Hawks in 7. So we just hope it goes 7.
You just pissed off Spurs Twitter about 5 minutes ago with Zaza. Now you're pissing off the entire Twitter family in Milwaukee. I'm just, and you're just on a roll tonight. I'm just gonna say you don't want to jinx them, and you're jinxing the damn Bucks tonight. Come on, Trey.
Am I jinxing them, or are they just not playoff worthy? Maybe are they a great regular season team? We saw the same thing with Bud's team in Atlanta, right?
Bud was a great coach for Atlanta. He did wonders there. He even got a DWI there. That's a Coach Bud for you. So I'm going to bring that up on the driving while intoxicated charge that he brought, because I'm going to ask you here. I want your honest opinion. Yes or no? Do we see Bud get another mugshot if the Bucks win the series or if the Hawks win the series? Is he going to be depressed or happy? Which Bud are we getting after this series?
Oh man, you know what? I pissed off a lot of people already today. I'm not going there with Bud.
People off. We love this. We love this. Just continue to piss people off.
I'm going to say we're going to see another mugshot of Bud. Happy Bud after Game 7. Driving his way to the airport and getting a mug. He's going to get pulled over and he can't coach Game 1 at NBA final.
Wow. I'm already seeing that. Hey, Ty, we'll see you later, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. We look forward to you joining in on Wednesdays every now and then when you can. But let us know, when you're on live, we'll definitely try to join your stuff as well here. But again, go follow Ty Yeager on Twitter. Great Spurs content, great guy for Spurs. Any type of content you're looking for Spurs and everything. Prospects are coming up. He's doing some prospect watch for the Spurs who are picking 12th in this year's draft. So getting back to Coach Bud, Trey is expecting 100% guaranteed. He's going straight Joe Namath, guaranteeing we are getting another mugshot of Coach Bud after this series. We're just trying to figure out if it's going to be a happy mugshot because he's in the finals or a depressed mugshot because he lost in the conference finals. We will definitely see that happens. But speaking of injuries, man, LeBron a while back, and I'm not actually bringing up LeBron for any reasons like to get on your nerves or anything, but he did mention about the injuries. Yeah, he did mention about the injuries. And you're talking about, we saw Giannis go down last night. As far as the injuries goes, I agree to a point. The NBA season is too long and too compacted. I won't disagree with that. If you're going to have a long season, this isn't baseball where you can actually do a long season, make it work. In football, you've got 17 weeks, 17 games. So you've got that week in between majority of the times to get your rest in, to get healthy and everything. The NBA grind is a lot harder. So I kind of agree with LeBron in a sense of something has to be done with the entire schedule. And I'm not saying to take away games. I'm just saying limit to back-to-backs. You've got to limit back-to-back games, but you've got to compact the entire season. Would subtracting the season to a 60-game season be better to spread it out, or add the extra month or and a half? I mean, where do you see this going? Because this is the counterpoint right here. This is the counterpoint. Majority of the injuries are player to player. We don't see a lot of injuries because of fatigue. You know, Trae Young stepped on a ref's foot. That has nothing to do with fatigue. Giannis coming down, I can understand the wear and tear on a knee. I do understand that. So it's kind of a catch-22. Not every injury is related to fatigue. Probably majority are not related to fatigue or wear and tear. Majority are probably related to player-player contact or player-to-ref contact or something. I mean, that's obvious. Or diving for the ball and, you know, hurting your arm or something. I wanted to ask you that. Where does your stance on that? Should this league be shortened? Should they limit back-to-backs? Or do you like it the way it is?
Well, I actually like it the way it is. We've been doing this. The only concept of this year is like the two finals teams, the Heat and the Lakers. They only got 70 days off, which any hardworking American doesn't want to hear. Oh, I got 70 days off, blah blah blah, to rest my body and get treatment and blah blah. I'm hardworking. A lot of haven't me and you, Rudy. We go out and work 40, 50 hours a week. We got to come home, play with our kids, and then we got to wake up the next morning and do it day after day after day after day after day. These guys they fly get their own training, they get their own training stuff, they get their own ice buckets, they get their everyone basically has their own trainer at their house to live with them throughout the whole year. Why is it all of a sudden? I understand a little bit more this year because of COVID, because it was all because some teams got basically a whole year off, and then the teams that went in the bubble only got a certain amount of days off, which I totally get. And I wish they would have stopped the back to backs this year a little bit. I still have them, but not as much. And the NBA fans or the commissioner shouldn't be mad if they rest their players because they need rest, which a lot of people are probably not going to agree with me on that, but they just need rest. But honestly, the next year is going to be a better year. How long have we been doing this back in the 80s and 90s where they're killing each other? I mean, the Pistons were knocking Jordan down left and right. You didn't see the type of, and they played more physical than they do now. I think that's what you're starting to see right now. I think the physicality of not being there in the NBA is taking its toll, and their body's not used to all that punishment, if that makes any sense. I think there's never been a problem with it for how many years it's been, and now all of a sudden, because LeBron James and all these young players, it goes back to the NFL rule too. Like, oh, no more 2-a-days in training camp. Oh, no more hitting in practice. No more. And we're seeing a lot more injuries in both sports. So, but if you keep it there, your body's more used to it, and it can take a beating a little bit more, I do believe. But if you just look at the injuries this year, Trae Young's was a freak accident. The referee was just standing in the wrong spot. Giannis, that play, no matter what, if he was fatigued, not whatever the case may, wear and tear on the knee, we're just like it's hyperextended, not torn ACL. That was a bad hit. I think the sleeves did that to him. KD, Kyrie Irving's always, if you look at every playoffs besides the 2016 finals, when the playoffs are here, he is not available. Even going back to Duke, he didn't play much in the tournament because of his injuries. He's injury prone because of LeBron James is getting older in tooth. He's 36 years old. It's going to be his 19th year in the league. Father time's undefeated. Kawhi Leonard, injury after he's getting older too. Steph Curry, ankle injuries, getting older. James Harden, older. So basically all these players are getting older, and they've been playing for a little bit, and it's not as easy to recuperate when you're a young 20-year-old like a Devin Booker, Trae Young, or Luka Doncic, or whoever the case may be. Because Luka also played with a bum shoulder, but he looked like he was just fine a little bit too. But I think the less physicality of the sports is taking its toll, and it's not having the same aspect of the pressure on your body to take the toll. And now when you get hit hard, your body's not used to it, and that's where you're seeing more of the injuries, I do believe.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I do agree with you. And my concern was, do we shorten the season and allow players to get more rest in, or keep it the way it is? Like you said, it's good to keep it the way it is. I totally agree. You want to get back to backs in. I mean, it's going to happen. the stance is first off, you cannot blame Adam Silver. I saw a lot of people blaming Adam
No.
Silver. Adam Silver he works for both the owners and the players. So he's got to be able to have a common ground for both. Now, and that's the thing, is they got to have the common ground for both. It's not his fault. Players going down is not his fault.
No.
That's the problem I have with LeBron, because wasn't he calling out Adam Silver for that?
Yeah, he called out Adam Silver for a lot of things this year. It's ridiculous.
It's your Fuzzin' Player Association, your players union that agreed to this. If there was issues, your players union would fight for you. But players have to agree to this. You agreed to it. So why are you complaining to Adam Silver for it? This is your agreement.
Well, and it goes back to that agreement too, because it started with a condensed season, that shortened season, because the NBA Association, the Players Association, and they couldn't come to agree, so they had to condense the season to 62 games. And that started all this little stuff that's been going on because of this. Because these, I'm just going to say it, millennials, they don't want the physicality that it used to be, and they want all these preps and all these stuff, and they want all this, which is all right and good. But at the same time, don't bitch and whine about it whenever you have to condense the season because you won't agree to a deal. And I get it; the owners are basically bullwashed too, and they don't deserve any. They don't deserve a lot of things that they're getting in the deal either. So it goes back and forth. But at the same time, I just think about something. I told y'all that they were going to have injuries. I told y'all, but yeah, you weren't saying that last year. Where were you when you're in the NBA? When the Miami Heat basically lost 3 of their best star players in the game to win your NBA championship, did you? I'm just saying, it comes and goes, man. Injuries are part of the sport, and yes, there's been a lot of injuries this year, but I think that's to do with a lot of physicality. And LeBron James needs to stop whining and bitching and whining like he always does. A lot of people are turning off on him. He needs to shut up.
Yeah, true that. Hey, one of our co-hosts here, because we're all co-hosts on this show, Coach Gio's in here. Scottie Pippen is a turd, which actually brings up our next subject, and that is Scottie Pippen straight up sipping. Was he drunk on the Dan Patrick show? He had that bottle right in front of him. I mean, Scottie Pippen dropping bombs, man. And I get you're pissed off that you weren't the number one option and Tony Kukoc was on that one play, but get over the fucking deal, dude, for real. Like, why is that still bothering you right now? Was the boy drunk on the Dan Patrick show?
Yeah, he was intoxicated, dude. He was. I couldn't believe this freaking interview. I couldn't. I was listening to it driving around my work because I do pest control, so I was driving to stop to stop. I had to pull over and make sure I was hearing what I was hearing, what he was saying. And then I went home and watched it on Twitter. I just saw, I'm like, this guy was intoxicated. Now, I will give Scottie Pippen a little bit of a pass, little tiny bit of a pass, just because he did just lose his oldest son not too long ago. And I think he's has depression issues with that. I think that's what's going on a little bit too. But to hold something back for, to call Phil Jackson a racist because you gave Tony Kukoc the final shot. Remember the previous 2 times Scottie Pippen got, and he missed both those game-winning shots. Scottie Pippen is a better player than Tony Kukoc, yes, but Tony Kukoc was a better scorer, better shooter, better scorer in that situation. Steve Kerr has got those shots, put the ball out of Michael Jordan's hands, and then call Michael Jordan and goes, "Oh, the cameras were on him because he wanted to put on." I'm like, whatever, Scottie, shut up. The guy gave you the sit, and then he's like, "Oh, I really didn't care if Michael Jordan came back or whatever." But isn't in the final dance you point to a shoe and say, "Come back"? What I mean, now to Scottie's point, he's basically one bad call away. I forgot who the referee was from taking his team to the finals that one year in a game 7. If it wasn't for that bad call, Scottie Pippen would have carried his team. Then we'll probably have a different conversation about Michael Jordan, who's the greatest and everything. But Scottie Pippen was just out of his mind, wacko job, whatever the case may be, throwing Michael Jordan under the bus. Doesn't even want to talk to him anymore. Doesn't want to do anything. His hair's all whacked out and his eyes are all blurry, and it just didn't look like Scottie Pippen to me. And he was kind of mumbling a little bit as well. I just think, I think it's just time for him to call him Phil Jackson a racist. is a bold statement just because of one shot. And there's no proof that Phil Jackson is a racist. I'm sorry. That's just my
I
opinion.
don't see the proof in it, so that's why I'm kind of befuddled about it. Gio's saying he did it because he's writing a book, which I know he
It's
is writing a
true.
book. So
It's
you want
true.
to get the book sales up, but he also said he's pissed NBA didn't make him look good in the Last Dance. How the hell are you supposed to make Scottie Pippen look good? Pippen was never Batman. He was always Robin. I think for playing the Robin character, he was pretty damn good. He did go to Portland. He did go to what? Houston, I believe, was another stop for him. Was he ever Batman in those places? No.
No.
Pippen has always been Robin, but he's always been a good version of Robin. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being Robin, a sidekick at all. So I don't get why he was upset or calling Phil, a racist. Not MJ fault he signed that horrible contract. Exactly. Another reason. I mean, I don't understand. I didn't understand the hatred that he had for Phil Jackson, calling him a racist. It made no sense at all. Why he's upset at Tony Kukoc. Again, when it comes to that, I don't understand why he's upset, but I see why he's upset. Because if you go back to the interview, Scottie Pippen was the man on that team. He referred to himself in the third person a lot of times in that interview. So I get your ego is torn apart. You were supposed to be the man and all that stuff, but it was one damn shot. Just one shot. I mean, then didn't Dan Patrick bring up about the whole you didn't have a problem when Steve Kerr was called upon and MJ passed it. And again, Steve Kerr hit a shot. MJ was probably guaranteed it was for him to take the shot, but he made the smart play. He knew he was going to get double teamed. Was that for the camera? This is the part where it confuses me. Pip says, hey, it's for the camera. It was for The Last Dance. They were recording it, yada, 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 yada. How in the F is Jordan supposed to know that The Last Dance was coming out and that this was the play that needed to be made? You're not telling the damn future.
No.
I mean, let's be real. He's not. This isn't a movie script where you're writing it to where I'm going to make Steve Kerr look good. No, you're out there to win a damn championship. You made the absolute best play by passing it to Steve because Stockton came over for the double team. That was the play to make. He knew what was going to happen. He gave Steve the heads up. Pip is definitely wrong on a lot of this, if not everything. Safe to agree?
Oh, I agree. And also what he said previously to this interview about KD and LeBron and all that nonsense, that LeBron James didn't need any help. He's the greatest of all time. I'm like, LeBron James needed help. Everyone needed help. He's just selling books. I think he is going through some depression issues as well. I mean, this ain't the same. I mean, why wait so long? What has it been? 20 something years? And now you're coming out 30s, almost 30 years, 25 years, and still eating at you. He just wants to sell books. I don't know. I agree with everything you just said, Rudy. I don't understand any of this. Yeah, but I'm just really upset that he called Phil Jackson a racist. That's one I can't stand. Phil Jackson a racist just because I want that's strong. That's wrong.
It's so hard to see where Scottie's coming from. I get your ego was hurt. I get you were, depressed about the fact that Tony Kukoc got called on for the last shot. But Jesus Christ, man, you're trying to win a game. Isn't the whole point of playing in the NBA or any professional sport to win games and get to a title?
Yep.
I mean, who cares who hits the last shot? There does not matter who hits the last shot. Yeah, definitely, the whole Scottie thing. And then you're right, with him calling out, the whole KD and LeBron thing, where he said LeBron didn't need help. Okay, so his worst team was the Cavs team that still had Kyrie Irving on it. So you mean to tell me LeBron did that on his own? No.
No.
Absolutely not. So
No, because even in that series, you had Kyrie Irving who hit because LeBron James couldn't hit nothing in the closing time. No team could. And then Kyrie Irving basically stayed in hitting that big three over Steph Curry if it wasn't for him. And then also Ray Allen's big shot. Sorry, Spurs fans. I'm sorry.
No. You're bringing up a valid point because Ray Allen is the reason why he even has that damn ring in Miami.
And then the last year of the bubble, honestly, I'm not even counting the bubble as a championship. I mean, let's just face it. It's basically AAU ball, reg ball. I mean, he got 6 months off before he got to go back and he got his body back in healthy shape. And then going back, he didn't win a ring with his team with the 2007. Everyone's giving praise for that, which is a remarkable thing that he did anyway. Was he took that 2007 team against the San Antonio Spurs and got swept, but he took that team to the finals. But people are forgetting the Pistons were old. They were already saying goodbye. They didn't care anymore. The Boston Celtics didn't have the big three. They sucked. The Eastern Conference was not that good when he had a rising star in LeBron James, and we saw what happened when he happened to beat the San Antonio Spurs. When the San Antonio Spurs basically swept and wasn't even close. So
and he didn't win the
LeBron
title
James.
Like there was no
and he didn't. And and so the only titles that he won, Oklahoma City. He got away with the foul against Kevin Durant, or they go down 2-0, and who knows how that series turns out. And then he goes and joins the Miami Heatles, who has a three-headed monster and all the superstars in the world, and Dirk Nowitzki, who hasn't won a title, and a bunch of old grandpa-looking players, and Jason Kidd, Jason Terry, all of them, and they blew a 2-1 series lead on that one. And then you had the Ray Allen shot, and then Spurs came. I mean, so basically all his championships, he needed someone to help him, right? Ray Allen needed him. Kyrie Irving hit a big shot to win it in Game 7 and yes, we all know LeBron had a great shot, but I'm just saying LeBron James had help. Kobe Bryant had help. Shaquille O'Neal had help. Dwayne Wade had help. Michael Jordan had help. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had help. Magic Johnson had help. Bill Russell had help. Everyone needs help. Dirk Nowitzki needed help from old guys, and he still got it. Everyone needs help to win a title. It's not. I'm tired. That's one thing NBA gets. I hate about NBA. It's like, it's a superstar league and it's one player. So put that superstar against 5 other teams, they're not winning. It takes a whole team to win, and we're seeing that right now. But but going back to Scotty's point, he just, I don't know. Until he apologizes to Phil Jackson, I don't even want to hear about him again. To be honest with you, because what the country we're living in right now, with where racial things are the heated, and anything you say is a race content that can cancel culture and everything like that. To call Phil Jackson, you better have some hard damn evidence to prove that he's racist instead of not just giving you a shot, because that is horrible. I mean, that I can't even fathom Phil Jackson hearing that and calling him a racist. I'm sorry.
I feel you on that, man. And that's what I was getting at with Scotty. He had to have been drunk. I mean, something's going on. Gio basically says, don't forget, in the Tony Kukoc play, Scotty didn't want to come in. He quit. He did quit on that Bulls team.
He did quit.
He didn't come back in for it. So,
I
mean, Scotty, I love Scotty as a player. One of the best two-way players the NBA has ever seen.
Yes.
For sure.
Probably the best, if you ask me.
I would rank him really high. I don't know if he's the absolute best two-way player, but he's up there. He's definitely up there, very, very high on the list.
Yeah.
So again, you never were Batman, brother. You were always Robin, and that's okay. That is fine. You are still respected. I still love watching Scottie Pippen play, his highlights and everything. The guy was amazing. I loved the way Pippen played. One of the best two-way players. You're calling him the absolute best two-way player. The guy was amazing. I loved him, but I just could not agree with everything that he was saying this past week. Gio's basically saying it was the COVID champs for the Lakers last year. You got to put the asterisk on that, but nobody will put the asterisk on last year's championship for LA at all. So last week we talked about NBA what ifs, and I'm going to bring this back up because in the emergence of Trae Young with the Atlanta Hawks right now, and it's kind of funny, we're talking all NBA tonight because, our baseball guy's having a birthday party at a strip club somewhere, and Coach Gio he's on a date or something, so we're letting him do whatever he wants. He says he's at work.
I think it's a date.
Yeah, he's working on getting, the digits and
Yeah,
stuff for
he's
him and stuff.
he's working, but yeah, I see all these last 7 comments within Geo, man.
No, so we're keeping it kind of NBA tonight, but a what if here? Trae Young. I posed a question to friends of the show, Janaea and Dustin on their show, on Janaea's show, SBTN, which you can catch every Monday nights on 9:30 a.m. The Answer from 8 to 9. I posted the question: would the Hawks be in the same situation right now if they would have kept Luka Doncic?
I think they'd be in better position.
Really? Okay. And I kind of tend to agree with that. I kind of agree with that a little bit.
I think they might even sweep. I mean, not sweep, but I think they'll be ahead in the series. I think that they, because Luka's problem in Dallas right now is they didn't put shooting around him, right? They're bringing Porzingis, but he's been a shell of himself. You had Tim Hardaway Jr., but he was in and out a lot. Luka had no shooting. He did in Seth Curry, and look what he did last. It basically almost beat the Clippers without Porzingis last year, and then this year basically beat the Clippers by himself because he had no shooting. Everyone's like, "Oh, he hugs the ball too much." He has no shooting. You see how cold they went after the game too. Like they couldn't make nothing. If you put Herter, you put Hunter, you put Gallinari, you put with Luka Doncic with his driving ability and finding the open man. Are you kidding me? I just think that they would be a lot better situation. And with Luka's shot, I think Trae Young, if his floater's not going, then nothing's going for Trae Young. And I love Trae Young, but he shoots way too many 35-foot shots. He wants to be Steph Curry too much. He's not there yet. I just don't think he makes great plays here and there, but I think Luka Doncic is way better than what Trae Young is presenting. I think Luka Doncic will make this team a whole lot better than what Trae Young is. Now, it's not a slight to Trae Young because Trae Young is doing a great. I think that the Atlanta Hawks facilitated a great shooting around Trae Young, and that's what the Mavericks needed with Luka, and they're not getting. That's why Luka's upset in Dallas because they traded away Seth Curry. They traded away one of the. If they had Seth Curry for this series, they would have been on the round 2. They just needed one other scorer to help Luka. That's it. And Trae Young has 3 great scorers. Not I wouldn't say great, good scorers around him that make it a lot easier for him. And if Luka Doncic was there, I think it would be a better situation. Probably just a little bit, but I still think Luka's a better player than Trae Young.
True. And it's hard to make that case because we're seeing the Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals right now. We're seeing the Hawks taking it to the better teams in the East, like you mentioned earlier. I mean, so
yeah.
We don't know exactly. Can we really say Luka would have made it that much easier for the Hawks? We don't know. I mean, it's hard to say.
Well, let me go through this. Trae Young has trouble guarding in the paint and gets his shot blocked a lot against those big trees against Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
You put Luka Doncic against Ben Simmons, Luka Doncic is going to win that matchup every time because he's 6'9", 6'10" point guard as well. Trae Young's just a little 6'1", 6'2", whatever the case may be, but he couldn't get the shot out over. He had trouble over Ben Simmons. And I think that Luka could have broke down that defense a lot better than what Trae Young did, just because of the size difference. That's if you just look at it that way.
Okay, so if the Hawks beat the Bucks and go on to the finals, then is it safe to say Atlanta won the trade?
Oh.
This is funny because it's NBA what ifs. Because I'm trying to think. Luka Doncic makes the Hawks better. He's the better fit for them. But can we diss what Trae's doing for the Hawks if they get to the finals? I mean, he's already got my credit and props because of where he's at right now when he's taking them here. But can we discredit the whole trade thing if he gets to the finals? I mean, that's the tough part. This is why this is the new debate, I feel, is who won that trade? We don't know. We'll never know.
Well, right now the Hawks better think that they fired their head coach with only like in March, and their head coach right now, he's helped Trae Young dramatically. Yeah, and he's doing a hell, and I don't even know why he still has an intern tag on his name. He's going to be the head coach of the Atlanta Hawks. But okay, so if you make that trade, if Luka's on the Hawks last year, did they make the playoffs last year?
Man, that's a toughie.
See, they don't make the playoffs last year.
I think so. I think they make the playoffs with Luka on that team.
That's what I'm saying. So Trae Young didn't carry him to a playoff last year. I just think if you put Trae Young in the Dallas Mavericks, it's Trae Young or bust with the Dallas Mavericks, just like it is with Luka right now. If you put Luka with the Atlanta Hawks, I think it's a lot better because you don't that size differential against the Ben Simmons, Drew Holiday this round and stuff like. And then he can create for himself. He can take a beating inside. He's not afraid to do a floor, go inside and mess it up with the big boys as well with Giannis and everything. So I think in that aspect, I think that Luka would be a better fit. I just think that they would be a lot better team. They probably wouldn't be in the 5th seed. I'll tell you that. They'd probably be a top 2 or 3, top 3 seeded team right now.
Gotcha. Okay, and that is the. I wonder. It always makes me wonder. Hey, is it who won it? That's it's hard to explain. We've actually got Christy Wilson on Coast to Coast Network watching us now. She's keeping her opinion on Jeter to herself, so I'm sure she's a Jeter fan, and she likes Arby's. She says she likes Arby's. So
thank you. Arby's.
Trey, I'm gonna put Trey is so happy you like Arby's. So you got an Arby's fan. I never said I was not an Arby's fan. I love Arby's. I was fat for a reason, and Arby's was one of the reasons. I mean, food was the reason why I was fat, but definitely Arby's, played a part in it.
Dude, if you put I look at Arby's as a political thing. If you put 50% of Americans hate it, 50% of Americans love it. It's like it's no intermittent. It's basically what it is. But I live in a town in Kerrville, Texas. People might know where it is. It only has 25,000 people in this town. So yeah, me getting Arby's is a little. I don't have to drive 40 miles to San Antonio, where I have to fill in with Rudy on the Sports Dime and wait up to the show and go get Arby's right next to the studio. I actually get it right at my hometown now. I don't have to do all that. So that's why I'm excited.
So speaking of great stuff and great food, another NBA. It's not even a what if. It's what's gonna happen basically. I'm going to pose this question to you. I posed it to, like I said, Janaea and Dustin as well. I wanted to pose it to you as well. I wanted to pose it to everybody else, but obviously Gio and Austin are on a date together, I'm sure. So
that's probably what it is.
We, who gets the first ring?
Luka and Trae?
Yeah. That seems to be the future of the NBA right there. Who gets the first ring?
I'm going to say Luke. That sucks because the Hawks can get it this year. Oh, my God.
But how do we know this isn't the Hawks' best run in a Trae Young career?
That's right. I'm gonna stick with that. I think Luka, if Mark Cuban doesn't get in the way, right? If Mark Cuban doesn't want to save money and blow up a whole team and trade stupid players, but Luka's got to do some stuff looking in the mirror to make this happen. Because he's film, barking at coaching, barking at players, barking like he's a barking at refs. He doesn't have a great reputation. So stars are not going to want to come play with someone like that. He needs to settle that down just a tad bit, I think. But I think Dallas, being the market that they're in, I just think if Mark Cuban can pull the right pieces, he's done it once before. Can he do it again? And keep his political mind to himself and just focus on basketball. I think Luka Doncic can get his first ring. That's what I think. I think this might be the Atlanta Hawks' best run.
Keep in mind, we're talking first ring. Doesn't have to be with the Mavericks.
Well, that's true because Luka hasn't signed that $201 million extension
and
yet.
No telling if he's going to.
Yeah, that was a talk. Like after he lost, like he was all excited about the $201 million extension. Now it's like, it could be any day now. It's been a month and a half almost, right? So, oh man, I think Luka gets his first ring. I think Luka gets it first.
I think so. I think Trae is pretty much solidified in Atlanta, so he's going to stay there. The Hawks are making a name for themselves now, but again, that's the what if part. What if this is the furthest that Trae ever gets? Like this is Trae's best chance to get a ring, because you've got John Collins, who's a free agent. Now we know for a fact that Atlanta's going to throw the brink truck at him.
Oh yeah. Well, he's playing this Eastern Conference Finals. I would too. He's in there with the big boys,
But
man.
when this happened more times than not, you get that contract, your play goes
And he
downhill. You
exactly.
disappear. So
Unless you're a superstar.
yeah, unless you're a superstar. But remember, let me go way back in the day. Juwan Howard was a superstar, signed that massive deal. Wasn't much after that.
Was he a superstar though?
Yeah, he kind of was.
That's
Kind of was.
your opinion.
Probably.
I get your point. I get your point. It seems like a lot of people who have these one great years, they get all the money thrown at them, then they're nothing. I can put Kristaps Porzingis in that right now as well. He had that one good year with the New York Knicks, and now look at him. Man, I think the Hawks keep Collins. I think the Hawks stay true, but I think you're getting film on the Atlanta Hawks and the Nate McMillan team. And they're going to have a full year, a full off season to look at him. I think it's going to come back to hurt him a little bit. So, I mean, that's why I don't. Dang.
Tough, isn't it?
Well, now I'm starting to think, where could Luka go to win a ring? You know, Golden State.
I mean, that would be an easy ring for him. I think
That's what I'm saying. Take the pressure off Steph Curry. I mean, Golden State has 2 lottery picks and Wiseman and Wiggins to trade. I'm just saying, Warriors are going to get somebody. Stay tuned for free agency, man, because it's going to be fanatic.
Why not the Clippers?
I don't think the Clippers have enough to sign them. They got to throw the brick.
We've seen. I mean, we saw what Miami was able to sign 3 max deals when it was LeBron, Wade, and Bosh.
Yeah, but if you do that, then your whole bench play is gone. Like
they don't have much of a bench to begin with.
They're deep. You're not keeping Reggie Jackson if you do that. You're not keeping Terrence Mann.
Who would you rather have, Reggie Jackson or Luka Doncic?
Well, I understand that, but you also need more players. You know what I mean? Like,
you don't think Patrick Beverly would take? You don't. Okay, the guys on the bench.
Patrick Beverly's gone.
Oh no! You don't think those guys would sign the NBA minimum to stay with a trio like that?
They probably would, but if you're Luka, why would you want to go to the Clippers when Kawhi Leonard's proven that he can't stay healthy and he's a big crybaby anyway?
I'm just throwing it out there.
He doesn't play hurt. Philadelphia intrigues me. They need a point guard. They need a scorer to take some pressure off Embiid. Dallas needs but Dallas has no shooting though. So I mean, that kind of intrigues me a little bit. Yeah, that's a good place.
I mean, you look at Philadelphia. If you really are looking to move away from Simmons, there's your trade.
Will Dallas do it though? Because they need shooting.
Well, if Luka doesn't want to sign his contract, what you need somebody in return?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if you're Dallas, why would? So you do a sign and trade?
I mean, yeah, ideally.
But that's what I'm saying. Would Mark Cuban want Ben Simmons? That's what I'm trying to get at, because he can't score. Yeah, he's a great passer, but you're passing to people who can't shoot. That's what Luka just had problems with. Now you have a point guard who can't shoot.
You can let him walk for nothing. Look at Toronto. You lose DeMar DeRozan. You get Kawhi Leonard in hopes that you sign Kawhi to a max deal after the season. You win a title, and he's gone. You have nothing left but scraps.
Yeah.
So if you're an owner or GM, you've got to take a deal that makes no sense sometimes to do.
How about Milwaukee?
To Milwaukee, just sheer reasoning being that nobody wants to go to Milwaukee. I'm probably thinking that, but Milwaukee is very intriguing. Now, all this what if talk. Before we go, I'm gonna play this part here. What if he goes to Atlanta?
With Trae Young?
Yeah. You free up Trae to come off the ball. It's not like they wouldn't have the trade pieces. I mean, you send Kevin Huerter back. You you can
that would be intriguing.
Cam Reddish can go.
I would keep Cam Reddish. I think that guy
would
could be a
too,
stud in this
but
league.
to get a Luka Doncic, I mean, you have young pieces to move. You would keep Collins.
You do, but they're not going to do it, Rudy, because we just made it. Who's going to win their first ring? They can't win it together.
Well, who says they can't win it together? Then we're screwed because we're trying to pick a winner.
Oh,
so
man.
It's good to think about stuff like this when you've got a little bit of playoff talk, and these are things that you kind of look at. So, I mean, it's fun to talk about this stuff because it makes it seem like, okay, is it a possibility? Well, probably not. But then you stop and think like, well, could it be a possibility? It very well could. I mean, who knows? I mean, you can actually have Cuban go out there and sign a DeMar DeRozan that would give Luka some scoring.
Not 3-point shooting, though.
Not 3-point shooting, but he can score. You just want scoring. You want to take the pressure off Luka. So, I mean, okay, so think of this dream scenario for the Dallas Mavericks. You get Luka to sign. You sign a DeMar DeRozan, and you say, okay, let's help Luka out here on shooting. You get a DeMar. Let's help Luka out with ball handling. You get a Kyle Lowry. You know how much a freed up Luka Doncic is on the NBA?
Yeah.
You still keep Porzingis, obviously. You're going to have to. But you're not asking a lot for Porzingis to do.
No, the pressure's off Porzingis. I think Porzingis is the third man anyway. I think he's not he's not a Robin, right? So
yeah,
I just oh man,
he's a bad girl.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with. But, man, now I'm playing all these in my. Now I'm not going to sleep tonight, Rudy, because of all these scenarios you just put in my head.
You play all these scenarios out. We got the boys coming back next week, so think about this, and we may even do a quick show maybe this weekend, a 4th of July weekend quick show, and see if we can get these scenarios played out. But as of right now, we are at the very last few seconds of the show. You have been sweeping the league, actually just sweeping the NBA with Trey Collis and myself, Rudy Campos Jr. You can follow myself on Twitter. It's at Sweep the League. You can follow Trey. It's at Trey3025. You can follow all the antics of Coach Gio at Coach Gio with double O at the end. And last but not least, our MLB celebrity star himself, Austin Hartsfield, at Hartsfield MLB, who's celebrating a birthday yesterday. He turned a magnificent and very young 25 years old. I remember when I was 25.
My God, me too.
I know.
Me too.
I remember
I do
when
a lot
of
things different.
So for all the guys here at Sweep the League, we thank you for sweeping the league with us again on Wednesday night. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. Till then, see y'all be good.